Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a truly fascinating and sometimes unsettling new frontier, the world where artificial intelligence meets music. This isn't just about futuristic robot composers anymore, right? It's a revolution already changing how music is made, who owns it, and, well, how the entire industry is scrambling to keep pace.
Yeah, it really is.
We've pulled together some incredible sources to help you navigate the sonic landscape.
It's a space where the pace of change is just breathtaking. Our sources today span everything from, the U.S. Copyright Office's policy statements and the landmark EU AI Act
Big stuff.
to reports from industry giants like the IFPI and deep dives into cutting-edge AI music tools. We'll also look at how artists from the Beatles to Grimes and even those viral AI tracks are shaping this whole conversation.
Okay, so our mission today is basically to give you a shortcut, to understanding the key technological breakthroughs, the pivotal legal battles, and the big questions we're all grappling with. You'll get the surprising facts and the essential context, so you can walk away feeling, hopefully, truly well-informed. So, what do you say, ready to tune into the future?
Let's do it.
All right, let's kick things off by looking at the technology itself. When we hear AI music, many of us might still picture some simple, algorithmically generated jingle.
Right, something basic.
But what can these tools actually do right now? How sophisticated have they become?
Well, what's truly fascinating, I think, is how natural language processing, or NLP, methods, the same tech-powering advanced chatbots, are now being adapted for symbolic music generation.
Okay, NLP for music.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Think about how a computer tokenizes or breaks down words and text. Music can also be broken down into sequences, but music is far more multidimensional.
Right.
It has elements like pitch, duration, and crucially, polyphony.
Polyphony, multiple melodies.
Exactly. When you have multiple independent melodies or voices playing together, like a complex orchestral piece or a gospel choir, this depth means AI needs a variety of ways to read and understand music. It's not like text.
So it's not just recognizing a single melody line, but understanding the entire sonic texture, the emotional landscape.
Precisely. The tokenization strategies vary widely. Sometimes AI processes music using symbolic notation, like in MIDI or ABC notation.
Okay, digital sheet music, basically.
Yeah, essentially letters and symbols for notes and rhythms. But other times, it analyzes raw waveforms or even spectrograms.
Spectrograms, those visual graphs of sound.
Exactly. Those capture aspects like style, timbre, and emotion. The goal is to let the AI grasp not just the notes, but the feel of the music,
Got it. So it's definitely not just about simple tunes anymore. We're talking about AI generating full-blown, complex compositions.
Absolutely. We're now seeing models that can generate complete songs, combining instrumental accompaniment with vocals.
Wow, vocals too.
Yeah. Take text-to-audio models like NotebookLM or Suno's Bark. They can produce surprisingly coherent songs from simple prompts.
So you just type something in.
Pretty much. Google's Music LM, for instance, can scan a text prompt like spacey reggaeton with electronic dance music elements and pair it with sounds that evoke those specific feelings.
That's wild.
And the more specific you get with your prompt, the more precisely the AI can narrow its creative possibilities. It's kind of like having a highly skilled but totally literal musical assistant.
That's incredible, the sheer generative power. But this immediately raises a critical question for me. How much of the human touch remains? Does the AI just take over the creative reins, or is it more of a collaborator?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It really depends on the tool and the artist. For lyric-based melody generation, we've seen significant evolution.
Okay.
Song Composer, for example, is built on LLM, a large language model, like the ones behind chatbots,
Right.
and uses next token prediction to compose lyrics and melodies. It learns patterns from vast amounts of data without needing explicit music theory fed into it.
Huh.
Chat Musician approaches music as a kind of second language for LLMs. But crucially, many artists use these tools as a starting point.
Ah, okay, so not the final product necessarily.
Often not. The artist patent describes using text-to-audio software like NotebookLM as a goad to get imagination flowing, a cracked open door to the act of real human creation.
I like that phrase, cracked open door.
The generated tracks often serve as raw material, which human curiosity and artistry then transform.
So an AI might offer a musical sketch, maybe, and a human artist refines it, adds their unique flair, perhaps changes the arrangement or lyrics entirely.
Exactly.
It sounds like a powerful tool for accelerating the creative process, or maybe even overcoming writer's block.
It can be. Or it can open up entirely new soundscapes. Think about AI tools that can generate unique instrument textures no one's heard before.
Right.
Or assist with complex orchestration that would take a human composer weeks. It also dramatically lowers the barrier to entry for aspiring musicians who might not have formal training.
That's a huge point. Democratization.
Yeah, an amateur can now experiment with generating backing tracks or even full songs in a way that was previously unimaginable without a band or studio access. This democratizes music creation in a really profound way.
That's truly cool. The idea of AI as a creative partner that can enhance, inspire, or even democratize music creation. But this immediately makes my mind jump to the thorny question of ownership.
Inevitable.
If an AI helps create a song, or even generates it almost entirely, who actually gets the credit? And maybe more importantly, who holds the copyright?
Yeah, this raises one of the most pressing questions in the music industry right now. And our sources show a clear, often contentious divide. The U.S. Copyright Office is quite firm on what they call the human authorship requirement.
Human authorship, okay.
Their stance is basically that copyright can only protect material that is the product of human creativity. Their interpretation of author in the Constitution and Copyright Act explicitly excludes non-humans.
So no AI authors.
Not according to them. They've cited Supreme Court cases, making it clear that copyright protects the original intellectual conceptions of the human author, someone who originates or makes the work. For them, authorship is fundamentally tied to a human being, a person.
So the bottom line for creators in the US is, your human hand has to be undeniably in the creative process for copyright protection.
Pretty much.
If an AI generates it completely autonomously, it's effectively in the public domain. It's not just about using the tool, it's about actively shaping its output. Is that the crucial distinction?
That's the crucial distinction, yeah. If a machine makes it entirely on its own, it's generally not eligible for copyright. However, it's a nuanced, case-by-case inquiry.
Okay, so it's not black and white.
Not entirely. The office looks at whether the work is basically one of human authorship, with the computer merely being an assisting instrument,
Right.
or if the traditional elements of authorship, the creative choices, the execution, were actually conceived and executed not by a person, but by a machine. But human selection, arrangement, or modification of AI-generated material in a sufficiently creative way can lead to copyright protection for the resulting work as a whole.
Like a collage or a remix?
Kind of. Think of it like a derivative work,
Yeah.
where the human contribution is the creative spark that transforms existing material, even if that material was AI generated.
Okay, that makes sense. But this gets tricky, especially when AI can sometimes hallucinate, right? Or provide inaccurate info, or if a creator just doesn't fully realize how much the AI contributed.
Absolutely.
How do creators navigate this transparency requirement if they've used AI? Do they have to declare it?
Transparency is paramount. The guidance suggests they absolutely should. If applicants have already submitted works containing AI-generated material without adequate disclosure, they're advised to correct their information.
To keep their registration valid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This isn't just about legal compliance. It's about maintaining the integrity of the copyright system and ensuring a clear understanding of what's truly human-authored.
We've seen this play out in the news, haven't we? Notably with that viral AI song featuring fake Drake and The Weeknd vocals, Heart on My Sleeve.
Oh yeah, that caused a stir.
It was deemed ineligible for the Grammys.
Yeah.
Why exactly was that, beyond just the general AI issue?
Well, according to the CEO of the Recording Academy, Harvey Mason Jr., the main issues were that the song's vocals weren't legally obtained or cleared.
The likeness rights.
Exactly. And the song wasn't commercially available in traditional channels. So it highlights that even if the creative output is impressive, fundamental issues like proper rights, licensing, and commercial distribution remain critical hurdles.
Entirely separate from the AI generation itself.
Right. The AI just added another layer of complexity to existing copyright and likeness issues.
What about the Beatles' Now and Then? That famously used AI to bring John Lennon's voice back into a new track that was widely celebrated. How does that fit?
That's a great distinction, actually, and it perfectly illustrates the difference between AI as a generative tool versus an assisting one. In Now and Then, AI wasn't used to create new vocals. Instead, Peter Jackson's team developed custom tools to separate John Lennon's voice from an old, noisy demo tape.
Cleaning it up.
Exactly, cleaning up the audio artifacts. It was about enhancing existing human artistry, much like a sophisticated audio restoration tool, rather than creating the core, expressive content itself. It's a powerful example of AI serving as a truly sophisticated assisting instrument.
Got it. Assisting versus creating. Okay, let's switch gears slightly and unpack this from a European perspective. Are they seeing similar challenges to the US, or is their approach to AI and copyright different?
Absolutely, seeing similar challenges, but the approach has some key differences. Our sources highlight a significant legal mismatch in the EU.
A mismatch.
Yeah. A recent study for the European Parliament notes that generative AI challenges core principles of EU copyright law, particularly regarding text and data mining, or TDM, exceptions.
TDM, text and data mining. Okay.
Right. These exceptions, found in Articles 3 and 4 of the CDSM Directive, that's Europe's copyright in the Digital Single Market Directive, were originally designed for extracting knowledge for research purposes.
Like scientific research.
Exactly. Not really for the synthetic or expressive processes of AI training that involve modeling creative patterns to generate entirely new works.
Okay, so the EU is essentially saying that using copyrighted works to train an AI for generative purposes is fundamentally different from just using it for research analysis.
Precisely.
The insight here seems to be that the EU sees AI not just as a data miner, but as a potential publisher or creator that needs to play by different rules. Am I capturing that correctly?
You've hit the nail on the head. The study argues that training generative AI models falls outside the very contours of what EU law envisages as PDM. It's seen as much closer to reproduction and transformative reuse, which typically require licensing.
Which means paying creators.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
The recommendation's quite clear. Fully machine-generated content should remain in the public domain, similar to the US view. But clear criteria for AI-assisted works should be codified. There are significant concerns about market displacement for human artists, the undermining of traditional licensing structures, and a concentration of value in dominant AI platforms.
The big tech players.
Right, which could destabilize incentives for human creators. And there's this opt-out mechanism for right shoulders under the CDSM directive.
Letting creators say, don't use my stuff.
In theory, it allows creators to prevent their work from being used for PDM, but critics call it largely ineffective for large-scale AI training. Just think about the practical difficulties of opting out of every single data set, especially with user-uploaded content.
Yeah, seems almost impossible to police. Okay, so the legal and ethical questions are clearly pressing, both in the US and Europe. How's the global music industry reacting to all of this? Are they fighting AI, embracing it, or trying to find some complicated middle ground?
The industry response is definitely nuanced, very much that complicated middle ground. The IFPI Global Music Report states that record companies have embraced AI's potential to enhance artists' creativity and develop new and exciting fan experiences.
So, seeing the upside.
Yeah. They also issue a strong warning that unauthorized ingestion of copyright-protected music poses a very real and present threat to human artistry.
The training data issue again.
Exactly. So they're pushing governments to ensure AI supports and amplifies human artistry, rather than replacing or exploiting it. It's a real tightrope walk.
Give us some concrete examples of how companies are trying to manage this balance. It sounds like they're kind of building the plane while flying it.
Indeed. Deezer, for instance, a major music streaming service, is actively grappling with a surge in music on its platform, created using artificial intelligence tools.
Oh, like fake artists flooding the platform.
Yes, stuff, it says, are being wielded to earn royalties fraudulently.
Yeah.
To combat this, they're implementing on-screen labels to warn listeners about AI-generated content.
Transparency for the listener.
Go. And they're developing sophisticated methods to detect the subtle but recognizable patterns often found in AI-generated songs. Their CEO has clearly stated their commitment to safeguarding the rights of artists and songwriters. It's a proactive step to maintain trust and fair play.
That's a direct response from a streaming service. What about artists themselves? How are they approaching this new frontier? Are they waiting for the rules, or are some just paving their own way?
Some artists are truly pioneering new models. Grimes, for example, has taken a fascinating approach with her Elf Tech software.
Right, I heard about this, letting people use her voice.
Exactly. It allows users to mimic her distinctive voice, but with clear boundaries. She offers a 50-50 royalty split for commercial use of her AI voice.
50-50, that's generous.
And provides very specific, tasteful guidelines, famously stating no Nazi anthem or baby murder songs.
Setting some hard lines there.
Absolutely. It shows a model where artists can actively engage with and even monetize their AI likeness while setting very clear ethical and creative boundaries. It's a proactive way to maintain control and benefit from the technology rather than just fighting it.
So some artists are being proactive, finding ways to collaborate and even earn from AI. Are the big labels doing the same, trying to find opportunities rather than just seeing the threats?
Yes, absolutely. Universal Music Group, UMG, has partnered with YouTube to develop AI music tools,
Interesting pairing.
specifically focusing on appropriate protections and unlocking opportunities for music partners. They're even exploring Content ID-style technology, similar to what YouTube uses to identify copyrighted music clips
Right.
that could track samples, name likeness, or vocal stylings used in new AI-powered creations. UMG even has an internal AI review team that prioritizes ethically trained models and strict copyright respect.
So they're trying to build guardrails internally.
Exactly, signaling a desire to lead on responsible AI integration, not just react.
It sounds like a bit of a patchwork, though. Individual initiatives, partnerships. Is there a broader, more cohesive regulatory framework emerging to govern all of this?
Yes, and the EU is really at the forefront here with its groundbreaking AI Act, which officially came into force recently.
The AI Act, we hear a lot about that.
It's a landmark regulation. It introduces specific obligations for providers of general-purpose AI models, especially those deemed to carry systemic risks.
Meaning the big, powerful models.
Right, and one key element is transparency. Providers must draw up and make publicly available a sufficiently detailed summary about the content used for training.
That's huge for copyright holders. Being able to potentially see what their work is being used for, that could be a game changer for understanding how their content fuels these models.
It is potentially huge, though the study we reviewed suggests this transparency approach might still be structurally inadequate for individual creators.
Why is that?
Simply due to the sheer volume of data involved. Imagine trying to comb through summaries for billions, maybe trillions of data points to find your specific work.
Yeah, okay. Practical challenge. What else does the AI Act do?
It also mandates technical solutions such as watermarks, metadata, or fingerprints to enable marking in a machine-readable format and detection that the output has been generated or manipulated by an AI system.
So you can tell if something's AI made.
That's the goal. And for deepfakes, AI-generated content that falsely appears authentic, like manipulated audio or video, there's a clear disclosure obligation. You have to say it's fake.
Makes sense.
The EU study also proposes potential remuneration models, like collective licensing schemes with revenue sharing, possibly starting with music and visual works.
Like ASCAP or BMI, but for AI training data.
Kind of, yeah. A way to collect and distribute funds. They even suggest AI regulatory sandboxes.
Sandboxes, like a playground for AI.
Sort of. Controlled environments to foster innovation and test new AI technologies while ensuring they comply with the rules before they're fully unleashed. Okay, testing grounds. So, what does all of this mean for the delicate balance between fostering innovation in AI and music, and critically, protecting creators and ensuring they're fairly compensated? It feels like we're constantly trying to strike that balance.
That's the core challenge.
Yeah.
The EU study proposes a neat framework, a three-pillar accountability test for policy solutions: transparency, fairness, and enforceability.
Transparency, fairness, enforceability.
Okay.
The ultimate goal is to ensure creators can discover if their work was used, transparency, guarantee them income or veto power over its use, fairness, and provide an EU body for oversight and enforcement, enforceability.
So giving creators real power back.
Exactly. The push is clearly towards moving from an all-or-nothing regime where maybe AI use is banned or totally unregulated to one where creators have meaningful agency and fair remuneration, even with AI's widespread use. It acknowledges that the old rules just don't fit this new reality.
Wow, okay. This deep dive has really shown us that AI and music is so much more than just a novelty or, a passing trend.
Definitely not.
It's a rapidly evolving field, challenging our very definitions of creativity and ownership, and sparking major conversations across the globe.
Indeed. And while AI offers these unprecedented tools for musical exploration and expression, it also forces us to confront really fundamental questions about human authorship, fair compensation, and the integrity of our cultural landscape.
Yeah.
The shift we're seeing from AI as merely an assisting instrument, like with the Beatles track,
Right.
to its burgeoning potential as a truly generative force, means that policies and industry practices, well, they have to adapt thoughtfully and quickly.
It really makes you think, as AI becomes more sophisticated, will we appreciate human-created music even more, knowing the unique human intention and emotion behind it?
That's a fascinating question.
Or will a truly indistinguishable AI composition one day move us just as deeply?
And how will this balance between human intention and algorithmic generation shape our future cultural heritage? Especially with something as subjective as music, where a human composer might want a very specific, maybe even technically imperfect artistic effect that an AI wouldn't choose.
It's a space that's still very much being written,
Yeah,
or perhaps composed.
a perfect way to put it. We hope this deep dive has given you plenty to think about the next time you hear a new tune, maybe even wonder about its origins. Thank you for joining us,
Thanks for tuning in.
and we look forward to our next deep dive.